Start copying. We could take the test today because this is the last section. No. That's what Colby said he wanted to do. You ready to take the test, right?
Colby, do you
you need the chapter 2 test.
Yeah.
Ask me after we get done with this, I'll give it to you. Should just leave it at 0, shouldn't I?
I told him this wasn't.
Because something was absent.
I'm sorry. You made this up? Yeah, it was fun. No, I'm not like this until the end of the day. How'd you make it?
I have to go back there.
Around when, like, intervention time.
I'm not here. I'm gonna go to work.
Wait.
Well, then you'll get it Monday.
Hey, mine looks terrible.
Or you can get it Monday. Just let her know.
Mr. Wendell tell you already had a pumpkin. It was sitting on your shorts. Is that what he told you? See, he's nicer than I am, I guess, because I would have told you that. Maybe the pumpkin's got more stuff inside of it.
Wait, I didn't think it was because it's so annoying.
Yeah, we're on a 2-hour delay.
So budgeting, this is the last section. Next week we'll have a test over this chapter. Today's not very difficult. All right, it's pretty easy stuff. Once you do all the stuff that we've done up till this point, where you figure out, hey, how much should I budget each month for my car payment, this, that, mortgage, everything else, then you can start doing this. Using an expense summary. On the expense summary, all it is, and I'll show you a picture of one here in a minute, all it is columns. You got how much you budget for that certain item each month, how much you actually spend that month, and then another column, which is the difference in the two. And you use that so that maybe something happens in your life, like maybe for me, let's just use me as an example. All of a sudden, my sons, for some reason, get the idea that they don't like living with me anymore, which I have a feeling is never going to happen, and they all move out. Then all of a sudden my grocery bill is going to do what? Boy, it's going to go way down. So at that point, I look at it, and I look at my summary, and I say, all right, I'm budgeting $700 a month for groceries. Now all of a sudden, if it's just me and my wife, that's probably going to go to like $200 a month. All right? Now I am sort of lucky with one of my sons because he become, I don't know what he calls himself. I make fun of him all the time. He's not a vegetarian or a vegan or something. He's some mixture of all of it. Yeah, I don't know. He doesn't eat meat.
Okay.
All right? I'm not sure. It's not. He's not any of the normal names. And I make fun of him every time he walks by and I'm eating like a big piece of beef or something. I say, hey, you want some of this dead cow? Some dead chicken out there, you better go get you something or something, something like that. But he buys his own stuff, which that makes his mom real happy because now we got like, since he needs all the proteins, anybody know what other foods have protein in it if you don't eat meat? Cheese, tofu, yogurts, granola bars, almonds, all these grains and stuff. So on our counter right now, and I know you guys don't have this problem living in hillbilly heaven here, but out where I live, we got mice in our house right now because it's starting to get cold. All right? So every winter, and I know some of no, we don't ever have any mice in our house. No, we don't ever have any cockroaches. Yeah, you do. I can tell you every house in Preble County has cockroaches, mice, and the one thing that a whole bunch of you probably don't want to hear that you have in your house, snakes.
We got snakes in
I
this.
know that there's mice over
I
I can guarantee you we don't have roaches because we
I got
got
moles.
We got it checked and sprayed professionally.
Oh, sorry, Allie.
You can disbelieve me if you want, but you are wrong.
I'm sorry, Alex, but every house has roaches in it. Every
That's a
house.
bold claim.
It's every.
We have had
It's not. It's a fact. It's not a bold claim.
Facts
It is
means-
a green fact.
Facts means something that's not an opinion, not something that's
Can you quit arguing? It is 9:43 in the morning.
You
and
have.
we're going already.
No matter what anybody says,
Just shut up.
if you were to go home right now and tear down your walls, you're going to find all kinds of cockroaches and bugs and snake skins and stuff like that, because they get in there. And to think that you don't have bugs in your house, that's because they come in. All right? So, but my whole point was, all my son's stuff now, he's got these great big boxes full of all these almonds and stupid protein things and everything. Well, he doesn't want them sitting in the pantry now because we figured out that a mouse has got in the pantry.
Mice like dogs.
And so now he's got them sitting up on the counter, and it's driving my wife nuts
You guys have a
because,
cat?
yeah,
That's what we have a cat, really mainly for.
seeing that the cat we have two of them.
We have two, we have one like sometimes goes outside because we have a garden. You can eat the so they don't want to go.
Yeah.
We don't want mice in the garden. So.
And the cats at night are opening up like the doors on the cabinets with their paws to try to get them at the mice. So you hear this all night long. Because they can't get the door open, but they get it open about this far and then it slams. So you hear it. It's driving my wife nuts. I'm thinking, good, get rid of the daggone cats. I never liked them anyway. So the expense summary. That's what it is. You've got to have, and this is another thing, just to tell you, I've gotten lucky throughout my life. And I shouldn't say this is lucky. All right, this is a terrible, terrible thing. But as I've went throughout my life over the last 50-some years, once I got married and stuff, at some point my wife's mother died and left us a bunch of money. That helped me out a whole bunch because I was getting way behind on some of my bills and stuff, and that helped me out a whole bunch. Then we went for a while and we were doing really well, and then we were starting to get back to the end where we didn't have that extra money anymore. And then my wife's grandmother died, left us a bunch of money. And then we went for a while, starting to get back to where we didn't have any more money. Then my wife's father died, and we had a whole bunch of money again. Now the bad thing, and this sounds terrible, and I don't mean it to. Bad thing is there's nobody left to die.
Yeah, I knew you were going there.
All right, it sounds terrible.
It's terrible.
So now I got to take care of myself, and I got to make sure that somewhere I have an emergency fund of some money for whatever comes up. Right now, you guys know I've missed some time here at school because of doctor stuff. My doctor bills right now are out of this world. They're ridiculous, all right? The insurance company just sent me like a $1,800 check to pay for some of it. That pays for about a tenth of it, all right? So I need that emergency fund now. And I know you guys are young, so you don't think that way. You've got to try to stick some money back somewhere to keep something in case your car breaks down, all right? Especially the family I grew up in, not very well off, all right? I couldn't go back and just ask my mom, hey, my car broke down, you got $500 to loan me so I can get it fixed, so I can go back and forth to work? That wasn't going to happen. So if that's the way your family is, then you better make sure that you have some money set back somewhere. And that emergency fund doesn't mean Caleb drops by and says, hey, there's a big concert down Cincinnati this weekend. Let's go down there and stay. And you say, yeah, I got $1,000 in my emergency fund. I'll just drag it out. That's not an emergency. You got to make sure that you keep that money there. All right? I have no idea what's still in it because my wife doesn't let me see any of the bank accounts. But yeah.
She got hidden money in there. She don't know.
She's got her own separate account now, which I didn't know about because now she's got now I see with her phone she's got her own card. I'm like, hey, that's got a different number on it than my card. What's going on here? So she's got her own account that she puts her own money in to keep away from me. But then there's another fund that we have where I stick like $50 every pay out of my check that goes into it. And I have no idea what happens to it. She uses it for different things to pay for stuff like college for my sons or baseball for my sons and when they're playing baseball and traveling everywhere and stuff. So I don't know how much money's in there, but that's what I consider my emergency fund. And every time I ask her, well, how much is in that fund? Because I put money in there every week or every 2 weeks.
Your son's got long hair.
Yeah, all
They
of
both
them.
play basketball. The oldest one and then the middle one.
Only one of them played basketball.
Oh. I saw both of them shooting in here like a year ago.
Oh, yeah,
They're
they-
pretty good.
Yeah, the middle one's not very good. The younger one's all right. The oldest one's a lot older than you guys. You've never seen it. So the expense summary is once you have your budget sheet completed, that's what we were dealing with up till now. You have that budget sheet completed. It's going to be this column thing. I'm going to show you this. This is what it would look like. So you got your expenses, whatever it is, groceries, rent, so on and so on. You got them all listed down through here. The amount that you budget each month for those, and then the amount that you actually spent on them, and then you can take the difference. Once you find this difference, what are you going to do with that number? Once you figure out, hey,
You got subtracted.
you subtract to get it, but what do we do with that? Why do we need to know the difference?
How much you owe that?
All right, so we might need to budget more for that item, or we might need to budget less. So that way we can see the difference here. All right, are we budgeting too much on clothing? Are we budgeting too much on car insurance? That's another thing. If my sons ever, they all get jobs and move out, my car insurance is going to be almost nothing. All right?
You're waiting for that now.
Yeah.
He's taking him.
And it's getting better. My oldest son that still lives there, he makes more. He probably makes twice as much money a year as I do. And
Don't move out.
I don't want to do that. Because he's saving money, and
No, it's smart.
that's a good thing.
It's better to buy a house, right, than just to rent one right off the bat.
Exactly.
That's what my parents told me.
If he can save up, I know last time I looked, he had right about 6 figures in his savings account.
You know what Milestone is? Milestone, I'm working there. $1,600 a paycheck.
Open up your books. We should be able to get this done before Matt tries to get through the door.
I'm right behind you.
I'm gonna hand you too, man.
It actually is at like 10:34. But a whole bunch of these guys leaves at like 10:18 or whatever. Class is over at 10:34. We'll see. We'll see how much you get done. I may just let you go. Mostly just because I don't want to see Matt any longer than I have.
Oh,
Carly said the same, Matt. What kind of nice beer is that?
he thinks we're gonna go jumbo lunch.
If you get your books out, we'll do this. This won't take very long. We should be able to get this done. You should have no homework over the weekend.
Yeah.
Can I work on something different?
As long as you've got it next time. Can you what?
I was gonna press the button.
Are we ready?
Yes, sir, or what?
Somebody help me out because I don't feel like walking back here and getting my book. Number one.
Zoe and Douglas Hamilton budgeted $167.80 and spent $158.90.
So they got,
They budgeted $167.80.
and they actually spent $158.90. What are we gonna do with those two to see
We're gonna subtract.
the difference? Subtract. Somebody help us out. If you look at the board, there'll be a lot of them that I have the pretty key ideas that you have to do on them to see. What you come up with?
8.9. Wait, I think I did
8.9.
8.9. How are we gonna write that?
90.
So 8.9. They were what?
They were $8.
They were too high. $8.90, right? They budgeted 167 and only spent 158, so they budgeted about $9 too much. Does that mean that they need to change it?
No.
No, that's pretty close. All right, so you probably just leave it right where it's at. How about the next one?
Negative 24.42.
Negative $24.42. Anybody else get that?
Yeah.
So what's that tell you? What should these people do?
They went over the budget.
They probably should re-budget a little more or figure out where they spent too much at and decide not to spend that much the next time. Figure out a way to not spend that much. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but give me just a second. Look at number 3. It's like a chart, right?
Yeah.
3 through, what is it, like 3 through 11 or something?
3 through 10.
3 through 10?
It's the penders again. Nobody cares about Paul.
Stop.
Somebody
What you chewing or done?
All right, we ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how this is set up, but this is from the book there. What are you going to do to get these numbers out here?
You have to subtract.
Subtract. So somebody just, let's hurry up, let's go through it. We're just going to take the amount budgeted minus this amount and get this. What's the first one?
That's 12, negative 12.
Negative
60.
12.60?
Yep.
Wait, is this all number 3?
I'm not sure. What's it look like?
It goes down the chart. They want you to find the difference for all of them. Yeah. It seems like it at least. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, it's just 8.
This is not really specific.
Which expenses?
So this whole chart's for number 3.
Oh.
Next one, 0.
Come on, now it's subtraction. Quit
I don't have enough
complaining.
room on my paper.
Jeez.
The right arc.
Right, go out to the side.
Negative
Go this way.
0.65 for B.
What is it?
Negative 0.65. Or 6.
We should take the test right now. Next one I can do in my head.
That's cell phone broke even.
Cell phone broke even.
You would
Oh, I think you.
negative.
Should the cell phone bill break even each month?
Yes.
Yeah, you should have a general idea of your cell phone bill now, the way it is. It used to be, back in the olden days when Ebersole was growing up, if you had a cell phone, well, we didn't have cell phones back then.
Next
You
one.
had to go by usage and stuff.
7.20.
Negative 7.20?
Yes.
Do you want me to answer that?
Yeah, good. Yes, next one.
0.
0 again?
And then negative 16.70. And then 20.
Alec, Miss Shody needs you.
Who?
And the next one's negative 10, you can do that one.
Hold on, I missed one.
No, oh, my bad. 16 point.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Negative 10.
No, the I.
Where am I at? Am I skipping that?
Negative.
Oh, no, that's the one I'm on.
Clothing.
28.25.
And the next one's negative 10, right? Next one's negative 13.75, is that right? Next one, negative 15. Next one is what, 33? Subtract. This column minus this column every time. Next one I can't do in my head.
Which one? Negative 41 something. Minus 41.
Make sure you write that down, Elijah, negative 41 something. Ah!
Negative 25.8.
Negative 41.80.
Oh, yeah, I did that wrong.
41 point what?
80.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
Last one.
Negative 18.40.
Or is that the last one?
No,
That's not the last one, I gotta scroll down.
The next one,
Ah.
even.
Hold on, which number was I on?
Dining.
That was O.
You're at E.
Does everybody have that many before I scroll down and mess everything up?
No.
Quentin, you see what we're doing?
Oh, wait.
We're just subtracting, right? Nothing really hard.
Frick, I hate it. I feel like you might want more alphabet.
Made her all mad. Tell me there ain't no bugs in somebody.
Oh, shit, I don't like the trash. Alright, sweet.
Every house has bugs in it.
She had to go down to the,
Has everybody got that much?
Next four are pretty simple. 2, alright, so 0, 0, 100, 0.
0, 0, 100, and 0. The last four. Has everybody got all those?
Yes, sir.
That was just for number 3, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I got freaking.
Now, hopefully you guys got them all down there, because now we got to figure out which ones are which, right? So number 4 says, which expenses for the month had a negative variance?
So electric, which is B.
So let's do just letters.
A.
B, E.
A wasn't one or not?
Oh, A was, my bad.
A,
A, B,
B,
E,
E,
G,
G.
J.
Oops, that's a G, not a Q. J,
Yes. L,
L,
N, O.
N, O.
That's it.
Is that all of them? Those are all the ones that were negative? What's that mean if it was a negative?
Means they went over.
They went over budget. They spent too much on those. How much more or less did the Pender spend for all the fixed expenses than the amount budgeted? How are we gonna do that?
See which one was negative, which was a positive.
So you go back to that list that we just made at the beginning, add up all those numbers.
Add up all the negatives,
Add up all the negatives. One person do this for us. Somebody add up all the negatives, and I'll write that answer down. Somebody else add up all the positives. Now make it easier on us.
Do I get positive, negative symbol?
Add up what the numbers are.
Oh,
Yeah, you gotta actually add them. So these, we'll do the negatives here and the positives here.
$122.35.
Which one is that?
5. Add up all the
Negative
whichever
positive.
one was add up all the negatives.
That was all the negatives?
Yes.
$122.35.
35 cents.
So that's the negatives. Anybody do the positives yet?
Higher.
what? Yes, it's 5.
Is that the answer to 5?
No.
we gotta take these two and put them together, right?
$275.
Hold on a second, I think there's somebody out.
Quinn.
Yeah, Quentin's out.
275.
275 positive,
Yes.
even?
Yes.
What are we gonna do with those two?
You're gonna
Subtract them? You could add them, because one's a negative, one's a positive, right, or just subtract them? 0.65? Is that positive or negative? So, did they budget more or less than they needed to?
less. Or more.
They budgeted more. They budgeted $125 or $152 more than they actually needed to.
So it was pretty much okay for them.
Right. On some of them it was okay, because they made it up on other ones. Which number, 6?
6.
How much more or less did the Penders budget for transportation costs than they spent on transportation? I don't know which one was transportation.
It's gasoline and oil and parking tools.
So we're gonna have to add some of these together, aren't we?
Yes.
So let's see here. Transportation, what all would be considered transportation? So it's these two, isn't it?
Gasoline. Bit more on there, I'm told.
So what's this? That's 155. This is 151.7. So what's the answer to number 6? What are you gonna do with those two? Subtract them. So you got positive what?
155. Or 150.
Seems like more than that. 155 minus 151.70. 3.30. $3.30. So they budgeted $3.30 too much on transportation. Should they change it?
Yes.
That's not enough to, because one thing happens, like gas prices go up 10 cents this week. Is that gonna take care of that $3.30? No, it's probably not even gonna be enough, and then they're gonna be over budget. Number 7, which personal expenses did the Penders spend more on than they had budgeted?
Oh, definitely entertainment and dining out.
Entertainment,
Recreation,
dining out, recreation,
gas,
gas.
yeah.
Does, you see a trend here?
It's going places and
Going places and blowing money, isn't it?
they
All right.
spend more at the movies too.
So if all of these are above budget, are those all things that they could all of a sudden say, you know what? And my wife tells me this all the time, like I'll go home tonight and I'll say, why don't we just order pizza? I don't feel like fixing nothing. And guess what she says? No money.
They spent money on clothing and they went over on a credit card too.
Credit card, clothing,
And pocket money.
pocket money. Again, pocket money goes right back to what? All this stuff. Pocket money's, my wife gets mad at me because I draw out like $50 every Sunday because I go to an auction.
Oh.
Yeah, I go sit at the auction and I draw out $50. And the bad thing is, I go to these auctions every Sunday. I never spend more than like 20 bucks. I took them with me a few weeks ago, my wife and my son, and we spent like $100. And I'm like, you complain at me, but when I bring you guys, you spend too dang on much.
It's all their fault.
Next ones, I'll have the next ones up here so you don't have to tell me.
How much more or less were their total personal expenditures for the month than the amount budgeted?
We just figured that, didn't we?
That's number.
Didn't
Oh,
we?
personal expenditure.
Oh, personal.
So clothing, credit cards, and pocket money.
So this here, what's we got? We got 130, 190. Somebody add these three up for me. That's $153.75, $184, $180, $185.50.
That's $5 difference, about.
Not quite five.
It's about four.
$4.50. They were to the positive on that one, weren't they? So even though the credit cards were too much, the other stuff, I thought you said they went over on clothing.
No, they went over on the credit card.
Credit card, they went over, so clothing, no.
I must have said credit.
Pocket money, they went over, but clothing, they were way down. That sounds like Ebersole there. Credit cards and pocket money, I spend way too much. But clothing, you can probably tell. Don't say nothing, Carly. You can probably tell the way I dress, I don't spend a whole lot.
You got some flair.
My tie was probably a 50-cent tie at Goodwill. The shirt was probably, I don't know what it is at Goodwill, like $2.30 or something like that.
That's where I got these from.
The pants bother me because they're like $4 at Goodwill. That I hate spending that much. So usually we go on Sundays when they have the special tag, and you get it for 99 cents.
See, I need a budget, I
That's
just
what I
spent
buy.
$64 already.
So number 8 was wasn't that 450?
Yeah.
What's the next one?
How much more or less?
Go ahead.
How much more or less were the total entertainment expenditures for the month of
So entertainment. Let's see. We got 205, 225, 245,
247.
47.
Yeah.
And then somebody add these for me because I can't add those in my head. Apparently I can't add those.
289.20.
289.20.
Yeah.
How much more? So this is number 8. What is it?
536.
Subtract.
42.20.
And that's a negative, isn't it?
Yes.
42 point what?
20.
So that's where they went over quite a bit, almost $50.
Yes.
Is this number 9?
Yes.
What's it say?
Wait,
Number 10, that was 9? I thought I messed up somewhere. I don't remember. Oh, yeah, number, one of the numbers I just wrote over here and I erased it, didn't I?
That was number 9.
What's
Number
number,
10 now.
what's number 10?
We're on number 10 now. That was number 9 we just did.
Right,
Oh,
I had
okay.
it for number 8.
How much more or less were the vendors' total expenditures for the month of July? Not the budget.
Say it again?
Month of July.
Month of July, basically. It's the same thing we've been doing just for the month of July. So I don't see.
So it says expense summary for Paul and Diane Pender for the month of July. So they want to know how much extra did they budget?
Yeah.
So didn't we already do that?
Yeah, we already did that. It was 152.65.
So $152.65, positive $152.65, right? They budgeted that much too much?
Yeah.
What was number 11 say? Is this something different?
Your total monthly expenditure will vary from month to month. During the winter months, your home heating bills may push your total monthly expenditure over the amount budgeted. In some months, spending will be less. Name some other factors that might affect your spending for specific months.
I was going to try to get back to my other slide, but we can say this, right? So, and this is a big one right now, because if you're listening to the news, when you see the dark rule or DP&L or whatever kind of bill that you have this winter, you go out and get the mail for your folks, you carry it in there and you look through there and you see that that bill comes, you might want to go hide somewhere.
I do everything.
Because what are they saying right now about the heating bills and stuff going to happen this winter?
Go up.
They're going to be way up. So if you use natural gas to heat, they're saying that your heating bill is going to go up probably at least 30%. All right? My heating bill is usually around $300 to $400. When I look at that and I say, okay, it's going to go up 30%, 30%, if I just look at hundreds, 30% is $30 out of every 100.
It's gonna go up 100%.
So there's $400 here for $100. That means it's gonna go up $30 4 times, which is $120. So instead of $400, now my bill's gonna be $520 a month. If you use, so that's for natural gas. If you, like natural gas or propane, that's what they're thinking. If you use, yeah, like, if you use kerosene or, like, it's not diesel fuel anymore, but whatever that other,
All my grandparents have, yeah.
whatever that other thing is now, if you use that, they're saying it's gonna go up to like, it's gonna go up 35 to 40%. It's there, it's not, yeah, it's not really kerosene, it's something else, but sort of the same idea. Right, they call it something else now, they don't, not just like kerosene that you put in a heater, you know, in one of those little heaters. But even that's gonna jump way up also. And speaking of that, does anybody, this always kills me, because you see people who drive diesel trucks.
Oh, I know something.
Diesel is actually the same as what? See, Gabe needs to be awake here.
Nick Mellon.
Diesel is the same as what? Kerosene. So, my father-in-law, when he was alive, and he had a tractor and it runs off of diesel, and he would always get his diesel tank filled up so that he could have gas to put, or diesel to put in his tractor, and just set out there and he'd put diesel in his tractor. There was a couple years there where diesel fuel was actually higher than the K1 that you get at the little pump off to the side at some of these gas stations. It was higher. The K1 that you get to put in your little heaters, it's called K1 because it's cleaner than diesel fuel, which is called K2. It makes no sense for the stuff that's cleaner to cost more than the stuff that's dirtier. Alright? So all they were doing was jacking up that price because they knew that the people who drove semis and delivery trucks and stuff had to have it. What are some other things that's gonna, for number 11?
Sporting events.
Gas, sporting events. In the wintertime, what happens more?
Oh, holidays and stuff.
Holidays. Parents probably travel. Your parents probably giving you money just so that you'll what?
Shut up.
Stay home. Stay home. No, Matt, I don't think that's what your parents want you to do in the winter.
No.
When you're stuck in the house, when there's 2 or 3 snow days in a row, and your parents look like this at the end of the week, they're probably shelling out money, saying, go see your frickin' friends, get out of my face. Does that ever happen?
Yeah. I wish.
Well, they just,
I'm still attached.
oh, she still loves you?
Oh yeah.
That'll change.
I hope so.
Oh, they firmly kicked the legs on that.
They're ready.
Ready to leave.
They're ready for you to go?
Oh, firmly.
It's my dad that's what they do.